Jinbop's house. Hey, Jin? Jin, buddy. We're just here to talk, alright? You're not in trouble. We're just here to talk. Can you open the door, please? Jinbop, what? What are you... What are you doing in bed with a 14-year-old? What? Jinbop. Jinbop, you can't run. Alright, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this story. Let's just say he was a pretty grown man at the time. Alright, let's just say that. He was like 24. And there's been multiple reports after the whole thing became public that, Jinbop did, spend some time with his fans, mostly the underage ones. And people chose to not speak up about it, which is kind of odd. And some people were actually told to mind their own business, which, again, is weird in itself. By mid 2015, Jinbop had developed a close online relationship with a 14-year-old girl. And this girl was a fan of his. And she initially reached out because she made art for his channel. Okay, seems, innocent enough. But over time, their conversations became increasingly more inappropriate. And the girl's parents noticed significant changes in her behavior and grew concerned, as many parents would, after discovering evidence that suggested she had become emotionally attached to Jinbop. Now, their parents, not being complete idiots, wanted to see what was up. So they secretly recorded one of their conversations before contacting the FBI. According to the transcript, investigators began monitoring communications between Jinbop and the girl. They collected over several months worth of evidence. The investigation included recorded Skype calls, digital evidence, and efforts to identify Jinbop through his internet service provider, among other records. And before anything is said, this was not just a one-time thing. The FBI recorded a 37-minute Skype call between Jinbop and the girl. Investigators used this and other communications to establish what was happening and determined whether or not Jinbop was planning to meet up with this girl in person. So after the investigators found out who Jinbop's real name was, they then listened in, and what they found was utterly disgusting. Okay, first of all, Jinbop, being a 24-year-old man, was talking about oral blank, you can probably see what I want to say there, with a 14-year-old girl. And then, on a Skype call that was used as evidence, he asked her to take her clothes off and to show him. So yeah, if that wasn't any enough proof, that's something there too. And then, they had charges on him for cheese pizza, along with attempting to meet up with a minor. And by July 2016, they had evidence that Jinbop was discussing the possibility of traveling to Michigan to meet with this girl. According to the transcript, he eventually booked a flight from Seattle to Detroit. This was particularly significant for the investigators because this was enough, for probable cause, and this was moving beyond online communication and was planned for an in-person meeting. The investigation ultimately led the FBI to submit a criminal complaint to the Federal District Court on August 2nd, 2016, requesting an arrest warrant. The court granted the warrant after finding probable cause. To fans, Jinbop was simply just gone from YouTube. But the reality was, there was a federal investigation actively going on that had been developing for months. Around 2016 September, major YouTube news channels began posting about the investigation because it became public, and the Minecraft community was in shock. I mean, as you would be. That former collaborators publicly distanced themselves from him, and while discussion spread rapidly across social media, the incident marked the abrupt end of Jinbop's online career and transformed him from a rising Minecraft creator into one of the platform's most infamous criminal cases. Jinbop was ultimately arrested and sentenced to 7 years in federal prison. The transcript states that he was incarcerated at Terminal Island in San Pedro, California, with his original release date being July 25th, 2023. However, sources claim that he was released a year earlier on good behavior. So allegedly, someone named Tony T claimed to be incarcerated with Jinbop at the prison, and he stated that Jinbop lied about the story. He stated that Jinbop told the fellow inmates that he was in because the victim's father got the feds on him. Tony then claims that Jinbop did admit she was underage, but he never admitted to being a predator or having cheese pizza on his computer of the victim. This alleged claim that this guy Tony T was with him, you can pause and read the whole screenshot, but again, not a credible source. He could be lying. Then again, he does go into detail about Jinbop and a drug addiction of some sort in prison. Not sure if, a regular mind could just make that up, but hey, take it with a grain of salt. Before all this, Jinbop, or Starlet Zhao, was known as like a regular YouTuber that, was part of Sky's little media friend group. But, after this, his content was viewed in a totally different lens. His YouTube channel also became an unusual part of the story because it remained online despite the seriousness of this, whole thing. His final public video was titled One Whale of a Time, where he talks about like taking a break or he's playing video games, whatever. And in a slightly older video was titled, quote unquote, I'm getting arrested, question mark, reading mean comments. Both those videos received a new wave of attention because of its title after, his real arrest, which was, kind of funny on his part, unintentionally. He still had some people defending him. The victim, some of his fans found out her social media platforms and harassed her, which is disgusting because not only is Jinbop a disgusting person, the people who defended him and then harassed the victim are also just as disgusting because why would you defend a pedophile? And that's the end of Jinbop's story. What began as an innocent Minecraft YouTuber, rising alongside many of our old, nostalgic Minecraft creators, ultimately ended with his entire career collapsing before our eyes. Overall, Jinbop is a really disgusting person. And in my opinion, I feel like he should have gotten more time for what he did. And I think he got off the hook a little too early from his incarceration. But overall, the main takeaway is that these Minecraft creators, on the surface, yes, they play Minecraft, but behind the screen, they are real people who do real things. And sometimes those things can turn out to be really, really bad. If you want to have a good laugh, just go to Jinbop's most recent video that came out a decade ago and just go through the comments. The comments are golden. And that's going to wrap this video up, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'd appreciate any support you throw my way. And comment if you want to see similar videos like this in the future. See ya.